Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell, and this is my review of A Star is Born. Not the Hercules song, the actual movie that Bradley Cooper did his directorial debut with, and which stars him in the lead role. Now, this one has been the talk of the town, as far as I can tell, over the last couple weeks here since it debuted at a film festival, and it's been getting a lot of award season buzz in regards to Bradley Cooper for Best Actor and Best Director, and then Lady Gaga for Best Actress potentially. And so there's just a lot of hype around this thing, and so I had to go see it. A, because I like really cool biopic musical type of things, and also it's Bradley Cooper, so yeah. General premise of this film is that we have Bradley Cooper as a rock star named Jack, and he is someone who has been in the business for a while, and he has this drinking problem and a drug problem. And you just see that exemplified throughout the course of the film as he slowly becomes a victim to that, and you get to see him just kind of degenerate because of it. After a gig one night, he ends up in a random bar and encounters Lady Gaga's Ally character, hears her sing, becomes very just entranced by her, and they basically just spend the night together, not like sex-wise, but just spend the night just hanging out. And they begin a relationship. He takes her on tour, begins to get her to sing on stage, and you get to kind of see her progression as becoming this new star, and then you also see Bradley Cooper kind of burn out. And so you just get to see this dynamic between the two of them, where you have one person just continually rising, getting more recognition and things which Bradley Cooper's character, as far as I could tell, never really got for himself, and you get to see him just slowly begin to fall farther and farther down. Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, they both do fantastic in regards to performances in this film. I really enjoyed seeing their chemistry on screen together. They had a really believable relationship. And it's really interesting to see their relationship play out because, like I said, it's very flirtatious at first and very fun and energetic, and then you just get to see it progress as you see Jack's drinking and drug problem become a bigger and bigger factor, and you get to see Ally's reaction as she becomes this bigger and bigger fame and pop star. And one thing which I really kind of found interesting is that for this film, Lady Gaga, for at least the first half of it, hardly wears any of her like traditional makeup. You imagine her as this very makeup heavy musician, and you don't really see that for the majority of the first act of the film. And then as she begins to slowly become more famous, become a bigger pop star per se, you see that look become more of her. You get to see kind of what you would expect Lady Gaga to look like. And so I just found that just transition to be really interesting to see play out as well. Just it's not necessarily a plot point, but something which I found myself kind of curiously looking at as the film is going on. Biggest part of this film, and probably the best part in my opinion, is the singing. Bradley Cooper, I didn't know that he could sing. He can apparently do anything. He can play a raccoon, he can sing his heart out, and he's a damn good actor to boot. So Bradley Cooper does a really good job. He has a lot of solo numbers as well as some duets with Lady Gaga, and she also has her fair amount of solo numbers as well. They work really well with the singing. As far as I could tell, it was all them doing it, so yeah, it sounded fantastic, and they were easily some of my favorite parts of the film, just me being a very big music person and musical focused person. And while the film can feel a little bit slow at times, it's one of my minor gripes about it, is that just as it gets towards the end of the film, it does seem to kind of slow down just a tad, and maybe it's just because my bladder was getting kind of full, but I did start to notice the time was kind of going by a little bit slower towards the end. That said, the majority of this film is very well paced. It's about 2 hours and 20 minutes long, so it's a damn long movie. But for the most part, it just kind of flies by up until like kind of towards the last 30 minutes or so. It just starts to slow down a little bit there. But yeah, this film, yeah, it's really well paced. It went by really fast, and that was a big plus because I was kind of worried with it being so long. I also felt like there were some odd editing choices as well. There are parts where we had characters just standing in the with a large amount of light behind them, and it just seemed like a really awkward shot to me. And there's also just clips where you have like Bradley Cooper just like standing in a hallway for like 3 seconds, and then it just goes to the next scene or something like that. It just shows these really short, like 5-second long clips, and then moves on to the next thing. So it's almost like they wanted to use the shot that they had, but the clip itself wasn't necessary for the actual film, so they just kind of used a very small bit of it as a transition piece, and it just seemed really strange to me. Now, this film has been made a number of different times, I think 3 as far as I'm aware, not counting this one, and so if you've seen A Star is Born before in its previous iterations, you'll know more or less how this film is going to play out, as far as I'm aware at least. And so me, not having seen any of those before, I was really interested in seeing kind of the fall of Jack's character as, again, he succumbs more to his alcoholism and to drugs, and you just see him slowly become more and more of a mess, and you see Lady Gaga's Ally character just begin to rise into her own sense of stardom, because she is very much pushed upward by Jack initially, and then she just comes into her own, and she becomes this different type of musician, and it's kind of interesting to see that dynamic play out between them as well. But I just really like seeing that duality between the two characters, and yes, it is a little bit predictable, even having not seen any of the other versions of this film, but I did enjoy seeing how this film ended up playing out, and it does have an ending which I didn't necessarily see coming. But guys, overall, I thought A Star is Born was fantastic. I had a really fun time watching it. I thought that the performances were really, really well done. The music in this film is fantastic to listen to, and I'll probably be listening to it in my car for the next couple weeks for sure. If you haven't gotten a chance to see this, I highly recommend checking it out. It's very well done. Like I said, it's probably going to be an Oscar contender to some degree, whether it's Best Picture potentially, or Best Director, Actor, Actress, something of that sort. But it'll probably be in the original music soundtrack, whatever that is, to some degree. But those are all my thoughts on A Star is Born. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Did you like the film as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Once again, if you so choose, I appreciate it immensely. And as always, my people, my name is Nick Pell. And once again, keep on watching.